5, 7, 2, 5, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Welcome to the Cryptonomatron. Today I'm bringing you another token to watch. This one is called Oyster. And before I start rabbiting on about it, why don't you watch the video as it explains it a lot better than I can.
Advertising is the most common way of content monetization, but also the most vulnerable. Half of users block ads and the other half stop noticing them. At the same time, today we do not have a simple yet anonymous file storage system. So, we invented Oyster to address both problems. Oyster lets websites receive revenue from traffic using the user's hardware capacities. In order for the system to work, you need to add just one line of HTML code into your website. Now the devices will be used to authenticate the right to upload data to a decentralized storage ledger. Let's consider this case. Steve spends 1 Oyster Pearl to store 1 gigabyte of data. Bill visits a site and his device searches for Steve's Pearl, thereby committing Steve's data to the decentralized ledger. Searching for pearls means performing useful tasks for authenticating transactions. Other blockchain systems reward pearl divers for that, but Oyster gives this money back to the website. This setup makes all the involved parties economically interested in the process and eliminates the notorious ads. Therefore, Oyster is the new paradigm of the internet economy.
So the problem Oyster wants to solve is pretty much just advertisements online. So they say creative content publishers are suffering due to the advent of ad blockers and a general disregard to what advertisements have to offer. Advertisements have always been a fundamentally weak proposition. They are intrusive, tangential, privacy invasive, and distract from the cleanliness of a website. Now, I wholeheartedly agree with this, and I'm sure you all have downloaded an ad blocker at some point and have been asked to remove it or disable it by one of the websites you're visiting. And this is the reason that they can't get the ad revenue, and ad revenue is essential for a website to survive or a business to survive these days. That's how fine a line that they're working on. So it's not that lucrative, so they need every click they can get or every view they can get. And obviously this is going to be disruptive to the user experience. We don't like to see the pop-up ads. We don't want to read them. We rarely click on them, as they usually don't mean anything to us, and they're not related to anything that we want to look at. So how do we solve this problem? Well, at Oyster, they think the solution is going to be granting a parallel revenue stream to websites by adding just a single line of code. Yes, I know it sounds far-fetched, but bear with me. They're going to add a single line of code to a website, and this will allow visitors to contribute a portion of their CPU and graphics card power to enable users' files to be stored on a decentralized and anonymous ledger system. In return, such users indirectly pay the website owners for maintaining the storage of their data. So this is a very interesting concept, and as soon as I saw this, I'd actually seen it on ICO, and I was so busy it actually went off my radar. Now that it's hit KuCoin Exchange yesterday or the day before, it's come back onto my radar, and I thought this was an incredible idea that solves the problem of having to have advertisements on your website, and therefore improves the user experience of your website. So they say it is robust, redundant data storage, and it's going to use the IOTA Tangle, which is basically not a blockchain, but it's a directed acrylic graph, if I pronounce that correctly. And that's used for data retention and proof of work negotiation between what's called nodes. Now, the smart contract technology of the Ethereum blockchain, which is a blockchain, is used to produce Oyster Pearls, which is the token PRL, therefore activating the unique token attributes that enables Oyster operation. So it's quite complex to understand how it works. I had a little look at the white paper earlier. It's very well written. It's very technical. So if you're not technically minded, it might bore you to sleep, but it's there if you want to read it. So essentially, this just provides a way for websites to earn revenue without having all these spam ads. So on the exchanges, it's available on KuCoin and Ether Delta only at the moment. It is an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain. The price has increased exponentially over the last week, over 1,000%. In fact, it was under a cent at one point, believe it or not. It's now 38 cents. It's 2,571 Satoshi. It's gone up 36% against Bitcoin and 51% against the US dollar in the last 24 hours. Its all-time high was 48.5 cents, which is a phenomenal increase in a single day. As you can see, it went from just over 8 cents to 48.5 cents within a 24-hour period. So there's a lot of volume going through it. You can see the circulating supply is quite low at 31.8 million, and the total supply is 108.5 million, with a market cap that's still very, very low of 12.13 million. So this is still a project that has some value in it, and you're not too late to invest in it should you choose to do so. So given the practicality behind this, the utility of the token, the low market cap, the high volume turnover, and the hype that this token is now getting, I think it might actually be quite a good one for the future, and it's showing good promise. It basically will allow millions of websites to unlock revenue potential, and holders of the PRL token, especially if you got in early enough, will benefit exponentially from that. So I quite like this project. I'm happily invested in it at the moment, and make up your own mind. As ever, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence, do your own research. But this is my token, my Christmas token of the week.